We need to keep our eyes on Jesus. We need to stop getting caught up in the details. And we need to remember that Jesus can overrule everything. And he will never leave you. Never, never. Right? Nothing is too impossible for him. Nothing. He told this man to get up and walk. He's been there 38 years. Nobody else could do that? Nobody else can help that man into the waters? That's something to think about. Jesus didn't want him getting healed or delivered just for his life, but to affect others' lives, right? What I like is, he didn't want that man staying in the same place either. He said, get up, pick up your mat, walk. He didn't say, oh, get up, you're healed, and stay amongst the disabled people, right? And not only that, he didn't even tell him to take a disabled person with him. Right? I mean, that hit me last night. I'm like, oh, that's right. Like, he didn't say that. And when you get up, go ahead and help this guy who's disabled. Because sometimes God is doing a new thing. There's something new happening. He doesn't want you staying in that comfort, right? He doesn't want you staying in that place where you've been paralyzed for 38 years. Sometimes you just have to move on. And that means sometimes leaving people who are hindering you, hurting you, paralyzing you, disabling you. You have to sometimes do a new thing. Pick up your mat means pick up your excuses. Pick up your fears. Pick up all these things that have been hindering you. Pick that up and discard it, right? Because if he picked up his mat, that's been comforting him for 38 years, right? Fear has been comforting him for 38 years. Excuses, comforting him for 38 years. But when you're walking, do you need a mat? Right? You don't need a mat. What you need a mat for? So that's called discarding it, right? So you're picking up that stuff and you're discarding it, you're throwing it away. You don't need that mat anymore. And neither does any person that you affect in your life. Whether it's your children, your spouses, friends, nephews, nieces, whatever. Whoever it is that you are spiritually reaching into, right? People that you're affecting in your life. They don't need the mat either. He didn't say to leave it for anybody else. He said, pick it up and go. Don't leave your mess. So anyway, who told you the lie that you can't and you believed it? Right? Because somebody must have told them that they can't. He was there 38 years. You told him 38 years? And nobody come by to help him out? 38 years? That just seemed like... That seemed like me, actually. Is what it seemed like. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my God. Faith produces courage. I want to tell you a little tiny story, and then I'm gonna start wrapping up. So, in 2007, I used to be a medical assistant and ultrasound technician for 15 years. That's what I did. It's kind of like something I fell into, but that's what I did. So, and I was very good at it. And I was making pretty decent money. And I remember for about a year, God kept saying, I called you to be a chef. You need to go back to school and become a chef. And I'm like, oh, Lord, I know that ain't true. Because even though I've always loved cooking since I was a child, I always said I wanted to be a chef. But I kind of left those dreams behind to go ahead and do the things life threw at me, which was a lot, you know. And I remember praying, and I was like, all right, God, I'm getting anxiety at work. I'm not happy. I'm getting the shakes all the time. What's going on? I said, so I'll tell you what. Me bargaining with God because I'm all that, right? So I remember I was in prayer, and I said, all right, God, here's the deal. If you come down here physically, because I can, right? If you come down here physically, Lord, and you tell me the words, you are released, I'll go. I'll quit my job and I'll go to school. Now, mind you, I didn't know anything about school. I didn't know what school. I didn't know how much it would cost. I just knew it was in my heart. And I knew that because I spend so much time in the Word, I can hear Him pretty clearly. And that's that confidence thing, right? When you know that you know that you know that you know. This part was the fear part, right? Because you're telling me to quit my job, go back to school. I have a family. I'm like making decent money. What is going on? So I said, come down here physically, Lord, and tell me I am released, and I will go. 45 minutes later, my husband comes in the room. He says, babe. I say, yeah. He goes, I was praying in the car, and I heard God say, go into the room and tell your wife I said she's released. That actually happened. And he used somebody physically to tell me that was released. I mean, like, come on. I went into the next room. I gave my 2 weeks notice. You know, I did what I had to do. I'm driving to the school and going, all right, Lord. So I just quit a really good job. And I'm driving to the school, and I have zero idea how I'm going to pay for this. I said, so since you're my father, and I never really had a biological one, I said, so since you're my father, and fathers pay for college, at least that's what I heard. That's what I heard. I have friends who have fathers that pay for college. I said, so since they pay for college, can you pay for my college? Because I don't know what you're doing with me, and I don't know what I'm doing right now, but okay, I'm going. It just so happens that when I went to school, they were just giving out like one scholarship to any coming back adult, you know, to college scholarship. I literally did my certification, my associates, and bachelor's completely free. Yes. We paid for everything. Every time I signed up for any scholarship of any kind, I got it. 10,000, 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, 4,000, 3,000, every time. I will tell you this. While I was in school, we became homeless, right? So I was like, really? We're about to buy a house. We had to get rid of our cars, let go of the house, slept in our car sometimes, slept in friends' houses, thank God for friends. And I remember sitting in my car, I was so angry. Because I'm like, you told me. Now, that sounds like Adam, right? God, you gave me this woman. So I'm like, God, you told me to go to school. You told me to go to school. You put everything in place exactly the way I thought you would, and now I'm homeless. Like, I have to take my kids to families' houses to go to school. Like, come on. Like, what's up with that, you know? And I'm like, I was so mad. I really was mad. I don't know if anybody's ever had a mad moment with God. I definitely had one. And I was really mad. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, why would you do this? Very clearly. I heard him so clearly. He said, I told you to be obedient. I never told you it would be easy. I was like, well, I just got whooped. But, you know, I realized that he's right. Sometimes as Christians, we just think we're a little bit too privileged. And the truth of the matter is that he told you to be obedient. He never told you it would be easy. Right? So when you are cultivating your faith to get fear, he never told you it would be easy. All right? So even though fear's pulling you and fear's trying to push you around, it doesn't matter. Be obedient first. Okay? The rest will come, because God will never leave you in the same condition for longer than you desire to be there. Right? So I have been thinking about this a lot, and one thing that really got to me, and I think that this is great that we're a bunch of women here together, because what are we going to do when we see someone paralyzed or disabled in their spiritual walk? How can we help a sister out? Right? How can we connect? How can we have compassion? Because he was there for 38 years. You're telling me not one person can come and help, or, you know, at least try to get them near the stirred waters? Something for 38 years? I think we need to be there for one another, right? We need to share our hearts. We need to be okay with that. I have beautiful sisters in the Lord. I know if I'm going through something, phone call away. If you don't have that, I encourage you to have that. Okay? But anyway, that's my little tidbit on courage. So let's just try to be the kind of people that when we see somebody who is paralyzed, that we help them into the pool of stirred waters. Thank you.